Hello, my name is Syra Valley, and today I'm here to talk to you about owning your own clothing boutique with Paisley Raye. So first, let me tell you a little bit about myself, and then we can talk about why I chose direct sales, and then why I chose Paisley Raye as my clothing supplier. So I have a 16-year career in healthcare administration with a specific focus in research. Basically, what that meant was I worked in a hospital setting, one of several Harvard medical centers, and my job was to help researchers run their research programs. So I helped physicians that were doing really amazing stuff in cancer research, diabetes, OBGYN, you name it. And my job was kind of multi-purpose, where I would do a lot of human resources, a lot of finance, budgeting, compliance, regulatory, strategic discussions, strategic planning with the organization that I worked in. So all kinds of really fun stuff, but it was in a corporate setting and a healthcare setting. After that, I went on to become the chief operating officer at a biotech company, and that was really an amazing opportunity because it was a startup, and so I really got to be involved with all the different elements of getting a business off the ground from square one. So that was really exciting because starting a business is a lot of work, and so that gave me an opportunity to really understand the landscape in terms of legal paperwork, state and federal requirements, how to hire people, how to write policy manuals, human resources manuals, how to staff an entire facility, how to find a facility, so lots of different components of how to start a new business and how to set it up to go and be operational. So while I was doing those things, I was a working mom, and I found myself lonely. I didn't really have, in 10 years of living in the town I lived in, I had no friends because I was always working, and I just felt so isolated. And a friend of mine was selling a direct sales clothing line, and I really loved the clothes, and I thought, you know what, maybe if I sold these clothes, it would give me an opportunity to do something fun for myself, but it would also give me an opportunity to make new connections and maybe make some friends along the way. So I started selling this clothing brand about 4 years ago, and actually was extremely successful. I had a huge team, I had great sales, and I actually made a ton of friends. And some of them are still some of my closest friends, and I absolutely love them. And I did so well that I was able to leave my full-time job and stay home with my family. It was great. But I got to a point where I felt like I needed something more. And I wanted to offer my shoppers more of a 360 boutique experience where they were going to get more than just clothing. At the same time, I had also just gone to New York City and spent the summer there with a friend of mine. And I went to acting school, and that's my passion has been my passion since I was a kid. And I knew that that was something that I really, really wanted to focus on. So I wanted to find a business that was going to allow me to sell other products to my customers and sell the earrings that I make, which, I make these earrings. So I wanted the freedom to be able to share that creativity. But I also wanted something that was a little different in terms of model, where the intensity was lower, so that I would be able to pursue my acting career as well. So my first thought was, I'm going to open my own independent boutique. So I went to a bunch of different shows, and I evaluated products that I could source directly from vendors. What I found was that, I immediately knew that that wasn't for me, because when I went to some of these events, I was so incredibly overwhelmed by the number of choices of product. I instantly went into paralysis, because how was I going to know sizing consistencies between vendors? How was I going to have any assurances on quality? Where was this stuff coming from? How was I just going to choose which vendors to work with and which products to carry? I started to hyperventilate, and I realized that I didn't have the logistical wherewithal to take on that additional responsibility. That I knew that for me personally, that would just become another full-time job that would distract me from doing the things that I really wanted to do, which is sell clothing, sell other things in a boutique setting, and pursue my acting career, and of course be with my family. So I decided that I wanted to stick with the direct sales market, because I had success with that before, and I really did love the community aspect that it offered, and I enjoyed leadership, and I thought that was, I wasn't ready to quite give that part up yet. So I decided to continue with direct sales, but that left me with trying to figure out which direct sales company I was going to go with. So I knew I wanted to sell clothing, and it was actually my sister who suggested Paisley Raye. She said, "Hey, have you heard of this brand?" I'm like, "Who? Never heard of them." So I did some research, and it made sense I hadn't heard of them, because there was only like 100 people that were selling this product, which was my first indication that I was interested, because I loved the idea of selling clothing that nobody had heard of, that it really was an unsaturated market, and I was going to have a lot of opportunity to introduce things that not many people were carrying, right? That it was limited. So that was really appealing to me. So I decided to look into it some more. And I spoke to the owners, Ruth and Christy, who were just so transparent and so informative. I felt really good after the conversation. And so I liked that I had that ability to communicate with them directly. So that was another plus for me. The other thing that was surprising to me that I learned through this process of investigating, which way I wanted to go in terms of choosing the direct sales company I wanted to work with, was that Paisley Raye makes almost all of their products here in the United States. Now, I don't know if you know this, I certainly didn't, but only 3% of the garments purchased in the United States by consumers in the United States are made here. That means 97% of the garments that we purchase as a society are made overseas. They're not made here. So I absolutely was drawn to the fact that this company produced the majority of there's only like 3 products, I think, that are not made here, if that. And everything else is manufactured right here in the US. And to me, in a clothing environment where 97% of what consumers purchase is made overseas, that was a huge selling point for me, because I felt like that was something I believed in, and it was something that I thought gave me an added edge, that made in America. I personally believe that that's awesome. Being made in America also means that, Christy and Ruth can go to the manufacturing facilities and actually check it out and see what's going on, and see where the garments are being made and what's being done. And I think that level of control really helps to elevate the quality that they can offer. Another appealing point for me was a variety of silhouettes. I mean, I love, like there's a cardigan that Target carries, right? It's a crew neck cardigan, button down. I love it. But there's only so many of them I can own. There comes a point where I want to have more variety in the silhouettes that I'm going to wear. And so I really wanted to partner with a company that understood that a woman needs changing silhouettes all year. Of course, we want our staple pieces. We know that we love a certain style. We know that it fits, it's reliable. And so we want that also. We want to be able to buy those silhouettes in different patterns because we know they work for us. But we also want some adventure. We also want to be able to buy product that we haven't worn before, something new and stylish and trendy. And so Paisley Raye offers new styles all year that are seasonally appropriate in seasonal prints, which I think is great because it gives you the opportunity to provide more than just the standard styles to your consumers, which I think is great because I like to shop and I like to have variety more than just print. I like to have variety in print and silhouette. So that was an advantage for me as well. The other advantage is that I'm going to get the same item in multiple sizes. So I posted a dress the other day and I had 4 of them and I sold 3 off of 1 photograph. And what was great about that, and this is something I didn't realize previously, was that when my customers felt like this garment, for example, whatever the print was, that it was going to be really hard to find, it created divides in my community that I didn't realize were there. And one of the biggest things for me when going into direct sales was to build community. I wanted to increase my social network. And so I found it interesting that competitiveness between consumers vanished because my customers knew that if I have a dress that they really like and a print they really like, I could probably source it for them and find it, or I already had it in their size. And so it actually created a much more, a much more compassionate environment within my community, which I wasn't expecting. I just didn't know that was an issue until that happened. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense, I suppose. So I really liked that I'm able to get product easily if I need to. Like if a customer really likes a print, I can source it for them from a colleague pretty easily for the most part. Or that I got it in multiple sizes, so I'm able to accommodate a customer who's in a different size. Another great thing is sizing. It's pretty true to size. And so for me, that was so important. Quality and consistency were really, really critical for me. I wanted to know that if my customer was a size small, she was a size small, you know what I mean? In all the different products that we carry. So I'm a size 8 to 10 in department store brands. And in Paisley Raye, that puts me at a medium to large. And I found that in almost every single style, that holds true. I am a size medium to large, which is great because it gives me confidence to give my consumer confidence that when she's looking for something, I can tell her what size she is with a fair amount of certainty, that it's going to work out and that it's going to fit her. So I like that fit is really consistent. We offer sizes 0 to 26, and our plus size line actually includes OX, 1X, 2X, and 3X. And our plus size customers have been really excited about the fact that they have clothing that fits beautifully and is flattering and is cut for them. Christy actually does 2 cuts, one for straight size, one for plus size, to ensure that everyone gets the best fit possible, which I really love. And actually, when she started this business, that was her main focus, is she wanted to be able to offer a really robust plus size line, because as a plus size woman herself, she struggled with finding options. And so that was something that was a real driving factor for her. So I love that. I love that when there's a launch, all of those stylists get to participate. We all get to order. There's no, there's no queue. It's just you go in, you place, you place your order and you get your items. So it's very low key, which I think is nice. And for me personally was great for my emotional health, that I could just kind of say, oh, good, there's a launch, and here's what I'm going to get. And it was very easy. The market right now is so undersaturated. There's only 150 or so stylists that are selling right now, which means that there is so much opportunity as a small business owner. And for me, that was so critical, because I wanted to be able to leverage Instagram. I wanted to be able to leverage Pinterest and Facebook and YouTube and be an early adopter, because for me personally, I want to be able to sell a brand that I stand behind, but that not everybody has, So I like that uniqueness, and I liked that there was so few stylists that were selling it, that it really made my product competitive, which I really, really enjoyed. You can sell other things. And as you know, when I started, I make these earrings, and I really wanted to be able to work on that business. And I love makeup, and I love jewelry, and I love nails. So you can't sell other apparel, but if it's not apparel, like hats, accessories, jewelry, makeup, if you want to sell other stuff, you absolutely can. And for me, because I wanted to offer my customers a much more well-rounded boutique experience, this company offered me the flexibility to do that. And, I think as entrepreneurs, it's just wise to be diversified. I think that diversification as a small business owner is so critical, because you just never want to have all your eggs in one basket. And I think that even when people play the stock market, it's the same thing. Nobody puts all their money into one stock. If you invest in the stock market, you diversify. So as a small business owner, that was something that was important to me. I wanted to have diversification because it gave me peace of mind and helped me build confidence for my future. You can have a website. It's 2018, and people do a lot of business on the web. And so I think having a website is really important for small business owners. It allows you to increase your reach. It allows you to reach new customers that maybe aren't on Facebook. So I think that having the opportunity to have a website really also gives you a chance to brand yourself and figure out what your identity is as a small business owner, and really put yourself out there. And I strongly recommend blogging. I think that having a blog on your website is just a great way for consumers to get to know who you are and build relationships outside of social media. It's just a nice way to add texture to your business. So all things considered, when I weighed all the things that were priorities to me, which I'll summarize here, which is freedom to be an entrepreneur, freedom to carry other things, products that were made as much as possible here in the United States, new silhouettes all year round, new prints all year round, seasonally appropriate styles and prints, not a lot of saturation in the marketplace, high quality product with a good size representation from size extra small to 3X. I felt like Paisley Raye really hit the nail on the head and understood all of those different elements and has been able to operationalize those for someone like me. So I personally felt like this was the best fit for me as a boutique owner who didn't really want to have to go as far as owning an independent standalone boutique. I felt like this was the next best thing, because it gave me the freedom to really be an entrepreneur, but it gave me the comfort and security of working with a vendor that I knew was really focused on locally made and quality and variety. And, making things that were trendy and not kitschy, making things that women can wear and feel stylish every day of the year. So with that, that's kind of where I ended up and why it is that I chose Paisley Raye. I personally think that of all the players that are in the landscape for me right now, this was the absolute best choice for someone who wants to carry inventory and be a boutique owner. If you want to know more about joining, I'll post our opportunity link in the description of this video. But just to give you a little summary of how our team works, our team is called The Collective, and the way we're set up is that we actually run our team as a unit. So there's a handful of us that are founding members, and we have about 90 years of combined experience in all different avenues of business, whether it's indirect sales or outside sales experience, biotech, healthcare, inventory management, you name it. We have a ton of experience. And the reason we decided to set up our team where we kind of work as like a unit, like linebackers is what I call them, is because the biggest thing I hear from direct sellers is that they felt like sometimes they got lost and they didn't know where to go to get resources. They didn't know where to get questions answered. If their sponsor wasn't available, they just felt orphaned. And we wanted to make sure that it was clear, that there was a clear line of support no matter what, and that all of us were interchangeable, and that whoever your sponsor was in our team, we were all there to help you, because we believe, like, we know how to do this. You know, we know how to sell product. We know how to help people sell product and market themselves and brand themselves. But we wanted to make sure that our team felt that they had multiple layers of support. So that if you're on the East Coast and your sponsor's on the West Coast and it's, you know, or vice versa, and it's not the right time and you're trying to get a hold of someone and get some information, that you have that access and that ability. And it's just very clear. So we decided that we were going to run our team so that everybody had access to all of us, so that we had the maximum opportunity to provide robust support to anybody who needed it. If you are a direct seller and you're not sure what you want to do, I'm going to actually suggest that you look at my sister's free business page. It's called Direct to Success. And I'll put her link in the description as well. But she does a ton of trainings that are all free, that are available on Direct to Success. And I would strongly recommend that if you're considering direct sales or you're in direct sales already and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, like whether you want to change businesses or you want to stay where you are and you just want some new refreshing ideas, she has so many great resources. So I'm going to post her link because I think it could be really, really helpful to you. And if you have any questions at all about joining Paisley Raye, don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful. Have a good one.